Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good.
Well, great. Thanks so much for taking the time out to talk with us here at Music Junkie Press.
Oh, no problem.
Great.
Thanks for wanting to talk to me.
Definitely, we love you guys. Let's get started if we can. It's one of our first questions is how old were you when you first started playing guitar?
Oh man, I got my first guitar when I was like seven or eight. I could care less about it. I love music, but at that time I was a singer. I was singing the national anthem and stuff at like high school games and stuff because my dad did the PA, so it was really easy for me to convince him to do that. So I didn't pick up a guitar until I was 15 and a half. I had just broken my leg and I didn't have anything to do, and they didn't want me to go to school, so picked up the guitar and learned a couple of chords and took off from there.
Gosh, that's great. Now, can you remember maybe what the first song you really learned how to play was?
Oh man, I took lessons for about a month. So I took about 4 or 5 lessons, and every single time I went in there, I just wanted to learn a Pearl Jam song. Every single time I went in there, and my teacher finally was like, "You gotta learn something other than Pearl Jam." But the first song I ever learned how to play the whole way through, because it's literally 4 chords. Is Elderly Woman Behind the Counter of Small Town by Pearl Jam.
Oh, that's
It's a really simple song, really simple chord progression, and I really don't know chords or anything. Like if you told me to jump on a C chord or a G chord, I'd probably look at you like a dog or a tyrant or something like that. Because he taught me a few things, and then he asked me, "Do you want to learn music theory?" And I could care less about that. He goes, "Well, just let the internet teach the rest to you, man."
That is great.
And ultimate guitar, he taught me how to read tabs, and I took off from there.
That's it. That's what most of the kids do nowadays too. It's great.
Absolutely. You can learn how to do anything on the internet when we're trying to do something new for our show. We're looking at getting like one of those GoPro cameras. I've watched 37,000 videos on YouTube on different tricks and things to do to make your GoPro videos look better.
That's it.
You can learn how to do anything on YouTube.
It is.
Literally anything.
It is. It's the free version of the Dummies books.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, what would you consider to be some of the most influential rock albums that inspired you most to follow your dreams?
Oh man, I was really big into Pearl Jam, like I said, and I didn't come on to them until later. Like I said, I was a country music guy. I thought I was going to be the next George Strait. And my brother let me listen to Penn, and it completely changed my view on things as far as music goes, because the very first song he let me hear was Jeremy, and he dropped the F-bomb and said breast on the same song. I was just like, oh my goodness, I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah.
And that completely changed everything for me. And one of the one that's kind of out in the left field is Incubus, and I know a lot of people jumped on them, but man, they haven't put out a bad album.
That's true.
And a lot of people criticize them for making albums that aren't Science or Fungus Among Us. But and they don't. But why would you want to make the same album every time? I'm sure our next album will sound like Better Days, and we'll probably piss a couple people off because it's not Better Days.
Exactly.
And that's the beauty of music. If you listen to and another one of my big influences is Yellow Card. If you listen to their first album, they were 20 years old when they released that album. It was immature compared to the stuff that they wrote when they were in their early 30s.
It is great to see.
They've got 8 albums out. If you listen to the same album 8 different times, it gets boring. You got to reinvent yourself, and you got to people mature.
It's true. Time. You see the progression. It's great to see the progression.
Right, and like even that's just art in general. I mean, you look at Stephen King; he writes completely different now than he did when he first started.
Yes.
It's just a different form of art, and expression. So that's what I love about music is that it can develop. And don't get me wrong, I've had my artists, and I won't say anything about them, but I've had my artists when they put out their second, third album, I'm like, this is crap.
Yeah, exactly. No, how about you've been sharing the stage with some great bands like Nonpoint Red, 30 Second to Mars, and the list can go on and on. But for you, who might have been one of the most favorite bands that you guys played with?
Oh, man, there's been a lot this past year.
Yeah, yes.
One of my favorite moments was at the Showboat Festival, and I think it was called Chesaning Michigan last year, and we had some of our friends on Ned, our peers that are similar to us. They're out pounding the pavement, haven't quite made it. They don't have the continuous radio play, like the Prospect Hills and the Shallow Sides, and you had Seven Dust and Fuel and bands that have made it, that have that household name. And this was my very first time that I had ever got to play a big festival. And I remember being back there behind stage and everything like that. They were feeding us lunch, and this little tiny short guy comes up to me. He was behind me in line, and I start making this deli sandwich, and he tells me, "Don't eat the turkey, man. Go with the cheese sandwich. You gotta make you hungry." And he's like, "Just go with the cheese sandwich. You just grab a double cheeseburger or something on your way out." And I was like, "Man, I'm starving. I know what I can do." And the turkey looked good, so I ate it. And literally 30 minutes later, I was throwing up.
Oh no!
And he didn't rub it in my face, but he let me know, "Hey, I told you." And like I said, I didn't recognize him. And he looks like a little wild guy because he's a little shorter than me.
Yeah.
Turns out it was Ryan from Soil.
Oh my God!
I go to see Soil, and he's on the side of the stage, and he walks over to me, and he goes, "This was the guy that was puking earlier." Because I told him, "You didn't listen to me," so he outed me to his entire crowd. So that was one of my favorite moments, is that he just came over and recognized me. I was like, I knew this was your first festival.
Yeah. It's giving you the ropes. I love that. I just love that. Well,
that was really awesome to see him so down to earth, and everybody back there was. I mean, I was hanging out with Seven Dust, like John and Clint, everybody back there, all the dying guys. Everybody was really, really, really cool. And I've always heard that some of those bands, when you start hanging out with them and everything, you're the little guy and they're the big guy, and they let you know it. But honestly, we haven't really ran into a lot of people that have been jerks to us, and we're not ones to be shy about that kind of stuff. If you're a jerk to us, we'll tell you you're a jerk. I put my pants on the same way you put your pants on, man.
Yep.
But I'm never, ever gonna act. I don't care how big we get, how big, anything like that. I'm never gonna be better than the person standing next to me, because at the end of the day, we're all fans of music. Too many people draw a line between you're a fan and I'm a musician. Too many people do that, in my opinion. So I don't think that I'll ever be like that. I don't see myself ever being like that, at least.
And that's good. That's the way to do it. And you guys will probably keep seeing each other on the same tours as well. And that's why they end up finding a lot of partnerships on these tours. Now how about like here at Music Junkie Press, we're very strong believers about how music has changed our lives and heals us and saves us in certain instances. I can only imagine with your song, like We're on the Inside, how it's helped others to battle their own demons. How about, can you share a personal story of when music might have helped you during a particular time?
Oh man, which one?
Yeah, yeah.
Man, it's tough to pinpoint one. Really tough to pinpoint one, actually. Music's one of those things that, I can listen to a song that maybe helped me get through a time in my life where I was going through a relationship that had ended. And I can listen to it now, and it takes me back there. And there's a certain song lyric from the Taking Back Sunday song. And I'm all over the place when it comes to music. I know we're far from Taking Back Sunday, but there's a line in the song that says, "Why can't I feel anything for anyone other than you?" And I remember just hearing that lyric for the first time. It just, oh man, it broke me down. It absolutely broke me down, and it's still one of my favorite songs to this day. And it was 10 years ago, 9 years ago when I was latched onto that song.
Wow.
Maybe longer. I don't even know. And it's funny how a song can remind you of a certain time, or a certain person, or a place, a color. Music can kind of take that form for me. And I remember exactly where I was now. I was in my very first apartment ever, and I was moving everything out, because I was moving in with my buddy Alex, because I couldn't afford to live in that apartment by myself anymore. And I was moving everything over there, and I remember hearing that song for the first time and just being like, "Jeez, what a good line, what a heart,
Yep.
pulling line." So
That's great. That's true. I mean, it is. Now, how about, do you have a certain go-to song that, let's say, if you are feeling down, that you can pop in and it automatically just lifts your spirits up?
I go through phases. I really go through phases. Like I said, I started off being a country kid.
Mm-hmm.
I really did. I had I don't know how much I can say, but I had really tight jeans at one point in my life. I had cowboy boots, had a 10-gallon hat. My mom used to take me to all kinds of concerts. All kinds of. I bet up until the time I was in this band, I had seen 3 times as many country artists as I had rock and roll concerts. And man, it was just country music can really tell a story, and that's why I love country music. And I think our songs, even though they're rock songs, can really tell a story.
Yes.
And it's you don't. A lot of rock is really nowadays has been watered down. You know, it's a very generic. You know, hey, this is kind of what it's about. You know, type thing. It's a very vague message, and people latch on to it, and that's completely all right. I'm not dissing that kind of music, but for me, if there's a story behind it, and you can feel the song progress and crash like a wave.
Yep.
You know, at the end, and just come back to you full circle.
That's it.
There's nothing like a song that can do that, and we really try to convey that in our music. And like I said, I go through phases on a go-to song. Right now, "Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye" by Luke Bryan, and I know that's not the answer that you were looking for, but that's my go-to song now.
That's it.
Yeah, it's just got a good hook. It's got a good melody, and I listened to a whole bunch of Luke Bryan stuff, and I can't find a bad song that he wrote. And like I said, that's really on the country's perspective. My favorite song of all time is "Yellow Ledbetter" by Pearl Jam. I think it's a perfect ending to everything.
That is.
Perfect ending song to everything. So anytime that anything drastic happened in my life, I was when my grandfather passed away. I was really close to my grandfather, and when he passed away, I remember, kind of driving away from the services and everything, and I was not in a good place, and I remember just putting in that song and just kind of thinking, everything's gonna be good, everything's gonna be all right. This is my go-to song, for the perfect ending, the happy ending, and that got me through a lot. That got me through that. I remember that quite well. So if I had a go-to song for everything, it'd probably be that. But for right now, man, "Kiss Tomorrow Goodbye" by Luke Bryan has got it.
Good. That is awesome. No, I mean, if you could go back, let's say, and talk to your 14-year-old self, do you have any advice you might give to yourself?
Yeah, tell myself to quit being a pansy about things. I'm scared of everything. I'm still afraid of a lot of things. I'm one of those people that latch on I hate roller coasters.
Yep.
I hate not being in control. I hate needles. So I don't have any tattoos or anything. Clint, our lead singer, he's got tattoos all the way down to his fingertips. So I would tell myself just to live a little bit more. And
Yep.
I'm not gonna say I had a rough childhood or anything like that, but because there's definitely people that had some rougher lives out there, and I'm not begging for pity by any means, because everybody has their own story. But you go through different things growing up, and everybody's kind of unique and everything. Parents divorced and separated, and I felt like I was kind of angsty and kind of on my own to a degree, but actually I had everybody there. I think everybody goes through that adolescent part in their life. So it's just me against the world.
Yep.
So
that's good.
That's just one of those things.
And that's good advice for anybody. Lighten up a little, right? I like that.
Yeah, lighten up a little bit. Don't take it so serious.
Yep.
I was really cautious growing up. I was always the instigator to things, and I remember the day that I started getting a little bit more gutsy about things. It was when I broke my leg when I was 15. I had my permit for a little bit. And growing up in Southern Ohio, I broke my leg swinging on the grapevine. And the grapevine kind of slipped, and I fell about 35, 40 feet into a gully and snapped my leg.
Oh my gosh.
And that's when I realized that pain will go away.
Yep.
It sucks. It sucks initially, but there's nothing that you can't overcome. And I had multiple surgeries on my leg, plates, pins, you name it. The Kevin Ware kid from Louisville, when his bone came out of his leg. Mine didn't come out of my leg, but it was the same exact break.
Oh my
Same
gosh.
exact deal. So, I mean, it was just as gruesome too. I'll save you the details.
Yeah,
Just as gruesome.
that is wild.
And I remember my mom got me to the hospital because I'm pretty sure she could have got me to the hospital faster than any ambulance could have.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
And we got there and everything, and my brother, who I've only got one blood sibling, he's 9 years older than me, and he's my best friend in the whole world. And I remember him looking at me, and he was completely different. Like he was 16, and going out drinking, dating girls. And, that just wasn't my deal then. And I remember him looking at me and saying, "See, you can come back from stuff like this.
Oh, that's perfect.
Live a little bit. Just back off. Just live a little bit. Just kind of breathe." And I started getting a little bit more gutsy with my life decisions then.
That is great, though. We just love you guys out here. I mean, we're here on the West Coast, and we want to know, when are we going to see you guys out here? Or else we're going to have to all gather up and fly out to you guys.
I don't know. I know we're slated for 25 music festivals this year.
Great.
So far, we're confirmed for 25. I know Memorial Day weekend we're doing 4 in a row, which I think that means we have a death wish.
Wow.
But we had really good success. On the West Coast, going out to new markets is a scary thing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're as far east as you can go, really. You can go about 3 or 4 more hours to the east, but other than that, that's about as far as you go. You got to the Atlantic Ocean. And when we went out so we started our West Coast run in the fall, and when we went out there, we didn't know anybody. I don't think that we had very much radio play at the time. And we were still getting, I know this may not sound like a lot, but we were still getting 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 people at these shows that were there to see us or had heard of us, something along those lines. And you build off those small crowds. A lot of people think that it's bad when you're playing in front of 20 or 30 people, but we just played Milwaukee, and no joke, we played in front of 7 people, and we sold 7 CDs.
And that's exactly. And you put on the show that's the nice thing, is when you guys can go out there and put on the show, regardless of who's out there. That's what keeps everybody going. Is they're there to see a show.
I don't care who's out there.
Yep.
I get on stage and I have a really, really good time. Even when I'm in bad moods, it's a release. For 45 minutes, nothing matters to me. I know exactly where my guys are going to be on stage. They know exactly where I'm going to be. So you kind of get this sense, I kind of get this sense that I can be up there alone. Us 5 are one common, goal is to give everything, literally everything. And a lot of bands that are starting out that are sharing the stage with us are saying, "Well, you're you guys were awesome. You played in front of 4 people, 5 people tonight, and that's what it takes."
Yep.
Because I'm going to get those 4 people or 5 people to bring 1 person with them next time, and that 4 people is going to become 10, and that 10 people is going to become 20, and next thing you know, we'll be playing in front of a couple hundred people, and really, really, really setting the tone for the night. So that's our goal. We know we're a new band. We just had our 2-year anniversary party 4 or 5 nights ago.
Wow.
And most bands that are out there are a lot older than that. So I don't know what we're doing, and you can ask the other guys, they don't know what we're doing either. We're just going out and playing as many shows as possible. I think we played like 223 shows last year.
Wow.
Just play as much as possible. And a lot of people say, man, you're so tight, on stage. How much do you practice? We don't practice. So we don't have time. I bet collectively we practice 20 times.
Yeah, you don't have the time. You guys are up putting the shows. You're doing the live stuff every time.
Yeah, and you learn more that way. There's a lot more pressure that way. Because if you jump up on stage and the lights come on and there's 150 people and you didn't expect 150 people, you better bring them. Otherwise, you're going to be going towards the bar, going out for a smoke, or anything like that. That's not a good feeling. I like it when there's 100 people in the bar and there's 10 people at the stage, and by your 4th song, there's 60 people up there saying, "What in the world is going on?"
Yes.
That's the best feeling to me, is to win over a crowd that never heard of you.
That's true. Yeah, that is the best.
They're there to see the band that's playing after you. You know, and a lot of people are snobby like that, and they don't want to give opening bands a chance. And there's a lot of talented touring musicians out there. There's a lot of touring bands that are playing tons and tons and tons of shows that have been beating the road for a long, long, long time that deserve a lot more credit.
Mm-hmm. It's really true, because I mean, out here, you guys have been getting some really good play on Octane with your songs, and it's
Yeah.
we're talking to people and we're hearing about it, and it's great. We get a lot of people on our website. We did a write-up last year about you guys, and a lot of people here from the West Coast are all, where are they? When can we see them? And I'm like, well, we'll keep you updated, and now we're excited to share this interview with them. We're going to get that posted and everything. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our audience about you guys for this year?
I promise we're trying to come back out to the West Coast. I will say that. That was one of the best runs that we've ever had. And like I said, you go. We drove from Battle Creek, Michigan to Las Vegas, Nevada.
Oh my God!
We never turned off the van, and it was like 1,900 miles or something like that. Like 35 straight hours. Totally worth it. Once we got out there, we didn't play in Vegas. We just met up with some people and kind of had a weekend that we can't talk about.
Yeah.
we started off in Arizona and New Mexico, and both of those states just they're thriving. They're
Yes.
thriving for rock and roll. And
They
I can
are.
tell.
Yep.
You know, we can tell when we go out there, and they've never heard of us. And you know, we walk into places, and we're definitely standing out because we've got these Southern accents, and we're overly nice. You know, we've been told that we're overly nice way too much. But I think that's helped us in the long run. You know, I want to know everybody in the bar. I want to know everybody's name. I want to know the bartender. I want to know the owner. I want to know the bouncer. You know, I want to know the store guy, the sound guy. The sound guy's the most important guy in the world because if you piss him off, he's going to make you sound like crap.
Yep.
Nobody's gonna like you.
Yep.
So you make friends with everybody. Don't let your ego get in the way. That's my biggest advice to anybody is don't let your ego get in the way. There's nobody that's bigger than music. There's not one thing that's bigger than what you're trying to do. You know, just recently we've had several people come up to me, and I know they've come up to other guys too, but just personal experience. I've had several people in just the past couple of weeks that say that they've latched on the wall on the inside the past 6 months, and you know they've been in some pretty dark places. Mm-hmm. You know, lost loved ones, several loved ones. You know, contemplated doing things to themselves. You know, issues with drugs and everything, and that's the beauty of music, is you can latch on to it for a completely different reason than why the song was written.
Exactly.
You know, and that's why we don't tell a lot of people what our songs are about. You know, because if you latch onto a song for reason A, I tell you my reason, it may ruin that song for you. So latch onto a song, and at some point that song, in a sense, becomes yours. You know, and I don't want to rob that of anybody at all. So that's my advice.
That
Keep
is
the ego out of the way, and when you latch onto a song, it's yours. Make it yours. Own that thing.
That is beautiful. That's so true, because it is. I mean, sometimes, people listen to a song and it hits them for a certain moment. It gets them through a certain time, and it becomes their song. We've heard so many stories, over the years talking to people about what songs did get them through certain instances, and the song could be about something completely different, but they've owned that song, and that's why, with your music, it's the same thing. It's beautiful. Anybody can take it. War on the Inside. First thing I thought of. You start personalizing all these stories to yourself. It's amazing what the writing of the songs has been incredible.
And the music videos,
mm-hmm.
we had a producer. He called us. His name's Nick Martin. He's with Prestige Films in Kansas, and he called us. And I remember Clint wrote all the lyrics to the album,
mm-hmm.
and damn near 99% of the music. Nick called us and he asked Clinton, hey, what's the song about? And Clinton just pops him right off. What do you think it's about?
I love it.
And Nick said, well, he was like, this is what I kind of think you would like, because, I've had a similar situation. And I won't get into his reasons, but he was like, I've had a similar situation, and this is what it reminds me of. And Clint said, let's go with it. Let's go with that. That's perfect.
That's perfect.
So that's the music video with the mix,
mm-hmm.
that's what the song meant to him. You know, he saw that. That's what he felt. That's what he heard. So he made his own interpretation on that. Everybody has a war that they battle with themselves. Nobody's gonna beat you up more than yourself.
More than yourself. Yep.
You know, I hope that the biggest criticism I have is from me. You know, the guys though, you know, if I miss a note or something like that, they'll kind of look at me like, hey, you missed that. I guarantee it's not as bad as the scold I'm giving myself.
Yep, that's it. That's true.
Everybody battles their own demons, and everybody has their own way through it. Some people seek drugs, some people seek, you know, a psychiatrist, you know, some people seek exercise.
Mm-hmm.
You know, different people cope with their own war on the inside, and that's what that song kind of comes down to, I guess. You know,
It's
whatever
beautiful.
you have to do to kind of battle your way through it. Obviously, I don't want you to go out and start shooting heroin,
Yeah.
as the video kind of conveys, or, you know, do pills or whatever. That's definitely not what we do.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's another thing that kind of makes us kind of stick out is we don't party.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've all been known to drink every now and then, but I've been through that part of my life. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I've partied my face off. And when you're playing, you know, 200 shows a year, it's really, really hard to party.
Exactly.
You know, every single day and perform, you know, every single day, because the energy that we convey on stage, not a lot of people can replicate it. We had our butts whipped a bunch of times by bands that play hard. I'm not too cocky with very much, but I know that we can play with the best of them.
That's great.
There's no one that can play us off the stage. I do know that. And the reason why is because we had our butts whipped enough that we don't like that. I don't like that feeling. I don't like that feeling when I know that our set was mediocre. You know, compared to, you know, the band that was playing after us or before us. You know, there's some bands out there that got 16-year-old kids in them. They play guitar 3 times as good as I'll ever consider playing. You know, they're just prodigies. But, you know, it's just one of those things. I want to go out and be the best every single night. And I want everybody to in my band to strive for that too. And we do. We go out and try to be the absolute best band on stage every single night. It's a friendly competition. You know, I don't want to, you know, tell another band they suck or anything like that, because that's definitely not the case. Sometimes bands, there just isn't energy on stage. It's energy on the lyrics.
Yeah.
Aaron Lewis was saying, he's the most boring person to watch in the world, but I'll be damned if he's written a bunch of #1 singles,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and #1 albums. You know, Chevelle's kind of a boring show to watch, but I love to watch them because they're so damn good.
Mm-hmm.
You know? So we carry a lot of energy, and I don't like to get whipped.
Yeah, well, we can't wait to see
I
it.
strive to be the best, you know, we strive to be the best band on stage every single night. So,
Well, we're going to be waiting out here for you guys. You're going to have to keep us updated. You know, we thank you so much for your time, Adam, and we're going to look forward to spreading all the music for another last year and hope to catch you guys in a concert here soon.
absolutely. I keep bugging everybody that's booked. We book a little bit too, but I keep bugging everybody. When are we going to get out to the West Coast? You know, when are we going to get back out there? Like I said, that run was really successful, and we friend everybody on Facebook. Like literally everybody on Facebook. I'm going to be your friend. I'm not that guy. And I get messages literally daily from people that are out there, and we probably only play 10, 15 shows in Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, and I get blown up
Wow.
regularly. When are you coming back? So I promise we're coming back.
Good,
I
good.
don't know exactly when yet.
That's okay. We'll be waiting patiently, and then we'll start to have to get everybody on a flight to see you wherever you're playing.
There you go. Perfect.
Well, I really appreciate all your time, Adam. Thank you so much for everything.
Thank you very much.
You two have a great day.
All these voices calling